quiet in here. No music. I feel funny. This might be a party of 3 tonight. I don't know. We'll see. It's late. It's 1:03, 1:04, that is, on late Thursday night, early Friday morning here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. The brewery. Yeah, the brewery town of the U.S. We took that distinction from Milwaukee. We took it from Milwaukee, and it's fun. Yeah, we took that from Milwaukee. Are you implying, Tracy Adams, that I am not relaxed normally? I know you're not implying that. This no music thing's kind of bumming me up. I need to get amped up, get going, get myself going. But we're going to give it just a couple minutes. I'm definitely going to need to grab a refill here real quick, which will put me back here in 2 and 2. But hey, Ralph Deem filing in. It really might be a party of 3. Tracy, I'm glad you asked. Where's the music? This is night number 2 of my test of, I don't know if you had seen my stream. I've had a couple of them now where I don't know why, but I get this horrible static that comes through about a second or two to when I start speaking after the music's been playing. It doesn't happen every time, but I need to find out if it's the music that coincidentally makes that happen, or if it's buzzwords or something. So I'm just running this, just running this little test. So I will have music back. Maybe. We'll see how that goes. If for any reason this goes into like static mode where the voice gets really strange and like slow and droning, low and weird, I don't know. But it was a really good suggestion that I had from somebody that said, hey, maybe it's the music. And I said, yeah, you know what? Maybe. Could be. I don't know if I'm going to hear from Robert Wallace tonight. He tried calling me earlier. I had a day, which we've all been there, right? Everybody's had a day. For me, that was today. So I had that day, and I missed his call. I tried to call him back like an hour and a half later. I had seen that he did a live stream, in fact, shortly after my call. Kind of went through his garden and everything and that kind of stuff, but I haven't heard back from him yet. So I'm wondering if he tried to call me to let me know that he wasn't going to do the live stream tonight. And my phone's right here on the ready. If he ends up texting me or whatever, I may give him a call back. But while that was going on, I had to try to kind of figure out a topic for tonight. And what I came up with was something that I've noticed. Now, I know I've went into like the political side of things quite heavy the last couple nights. I have. And if I didn't tell you that that I'm exhausted from it, that would be a lie. I'm emotionally, man, this is one of those nights I need to recharge my batteries and kind of get off that specific topic and everything going on, because it'll beat you down. And so it was interesting after I tried to get a hold of Robert Wallace and talk to him, and after I didn't get a hold of him, I left him a message and said, hey, I saw you put a video up. I'm going to watch the video. And then towards the end of that, he said, he kind of spoke about how drained he was from the whole political battle. And I just when he said that, I just went, God, yeah, dude, in my head, I said, I feel the same way. It's never going to end. I mean, eventually it's going to end, but I think it's important to walk away from that once in a while too to get yourself uh, without fail. I look up and I just peek at the chat and it doesn't matter if it's Ralph or Tracy or John Barry. I haven't seen Food Stamp in a while, but somebody's got a zinger in there and that's funny. Yeah. Ralph says your voice is already weird. And I don't know, maybe you're saying that on your end, Ralph. It could be. Hey, Earn Dog's World is in the chat. And I'll reiterate this in just a minute or two, but I just figure we'll give it a second here. Well, a second. We'll give it a few seconds. And then I'll go into topic about the title of this, which was Why Walk Away. Here's why. So anyway, you guys say hello to each other. You guys give me 60 seconds, and I'm going to go freshen up my beverage, and we'll see if anybody else shows up. And if they don't, I will be right back. So, hey, Heather Coase, I see you here. So I'll be right back. Pardon me. And we're back. Hey, Laura Hall. Good to see you. All right. So there was a few of you here when I first came on just a few minutes ago, and kind of mentioned that I was getting away from the political side a little bit. I'm a little burned out myself. It's emotionally exhausting. So I got into some videos tonight, and now, mind you, I'm not gonna 100% get away from the political side of it, but I'm gonna talk a little bit about a subject that is starting to really get some legs. It's starting to gain ground, and it's very easy to understand why it is, and that's called the walk away movement. Um, it's funny. People are making videos right now for the reasons that they are walking away from the liberal left. Now, something I have to say is that I, I don't despise and hate liberals. I don't. I think that a lot of things that liberals stand for make them very, very good people in a lot of ways. And a lot like the Republicans, I think it's the extreme on the left or on the right that really taints what's at the core value of their party. Okay. It just does. So I started watching some walk away videos, and I started watching these people that came right out and they're usually around 10 to 15 minutes long. Um, they talk about the walk away and why they chose to finally walk away. In this case, from the liberal left. You probably could have made this video regarding Republicans years ago, before Donald Trump ran for president. You probably could have. And you would have equally had as many people come out and start talking about that as well. So I was actually really inspired to hear, and quite honestly, these people have all the respect in the world for getting on to a video talking about all the deficiencies that they had seen in their base. You know, they were speaking passionately about how, basically what I was saying is that the things that they embraced as a liberal were so far out of bounds from what their perception was. I heard somebody say this once, not on the walk away movement, but uh, they said, "What you are speaks so loud in my ears that I can't hear what you say." Now, a lot of the people that are in the walkaway movement used to have that very ideology about them. What you are, and we'll just say as a Republican, what you are as a Republican speaks so loud in my ears that I can't hear what you say. And it's kind of been labeled Trump derangement syndrome. Okay. I think it's a little crude to call it that, but at its core, it is. They hate Trump and everything he stands for so much. And it speaks so loud to their psyche and speaks so loud against them that they don't want to hear what's being said. And man, I get that. I get that. The part that gains the respect from me, and quite honestly commands my respect, is that they get on, make a video, and they talk about it, and they own it, and they speak about, you know, these people that are walking away from the liberal left, and we're talking I don't have to break that down anyway. Um, they believe in the First Amendment wholeheartedly. They believe in the Second Amendment wholeheartedly. They do. They believe that that's a right, an inalienable right given to us by our forefathers, wrote into the Constitution of the United States. And as an American, those are God-given rights that cannot be taken away. I can have a discussion with somebody like that. I can have an intelligent conversation with somebody like that. And we could sit and have a beer and we could agree to disagree, because all the other things are just going to be political nuances. We're not going to sit there and start calling each other names. But that brings me to my point, which I'll get to in a second. All right. All right. So what's going on, the people that are walking away from the liberal left are the ones that have had enough. They've seen enough. They've heard enough. And they know that what they're witnessing isn't normal. It's not natural. It's agenda driven to its core. I like that people are awake enough that are on the left that are able to realize what I think most of you have realized for some time. Now, had I done this video 5 years ago, maybe 6, I'd be probably spouting out my very own walk away story. I'm in hindsight, I'm really, really not proud of this. I voted for Obama for 2 friggin' elections because I wanted to believe in that hope and change. I wanted to believe it. But the reality is that I peeled myself away from that when I started his first 4 years. Let me just be honest. I gave him the benefit of the doubt and said he inherited a bunch of bullshit from the dodo bird Bush, Junior. And he kind of got a pass in my book. And really all of, our, the things that were coming up about him being a Muslim or that his birth certificate wasn't true and all that kind of stuff seemed really, really out of scope because damn it, the media is not going to lie to us, right? I mean, seriously, they're going to lie. The tinfoil hat people were out in full force, but man, they were being made fun of. And they were like, Jesus, how can you be this freaking stupid and this and this and this? And then I went and voted for him into his second 4 years. Now, that's the 4 years where he should have done some stuff. All right. 4 years under your belt. You've got Dodo Bird Bush in your rearview mirror. And now hope and change, hope and change. Guys, that's where this man and this whole agenda actually woke me up. Like I was already awake in a lot of ways, but not completely. I was still brainwashed. I was still severely brainwashed. I was watching my television all the time. I was listening to CNN. I was listening to Fox News. In hindsight, I couldn't believe it. And as I've told you before, just because Fox News claims to be on the side of Trump, I mean, don't let that fool you. There are things that are out that are more pro-Trump. But going back to Obama, it started to click. I started to understand. I was watching what was going on with our jobs. I listened and heard the hot mic that picked up his conversation with, I'm going to screw this up, Menendez. Actually, I might have got that right. Who was the president before Putin, where he said after the election, I'm going to have a lot more flexibility. And Menendez, I think that's right, told Obama that I will convey that message to Vladimir, basically. And then Crimea happened. Crimea River, Crimea River, Crimea River. And Crimea fell. And it was done. And this man's agenda really, really started coming to light. It started coming to light. And that on top of social media starting to really explode. Now, 2012, if you guys look at I think the information's available when I jumped onto YouTube and created an account, it was 2012. And boom, snap. The true awakening process really started happening for me because I was thirsty for knowledge. I was thirsty for truth. I didn't think it was the level that it is. I really didn't. I didn't know that the level, and it goes even deeper than I know now, but I didn't know the deception ran as deep as it runs. And I'm not happy to report that it does, but the reality is that it does. And I'm reminded every day that it does. Because as I've told you guys, I research. Now listen, there's a percentage of the things that I probably believe in that are actually disinformation that are put into play to throw people off the scent. There could be, but I want you to know that I weigh the balance of the information that I hear and listen to against the arsenal of information that I've already listened to. And I'm not tooting my own horn, but you guys are here for a reason. You probably do the same thing. You weigh things against what makes sense. And you don't take it from one source. You listen to many, many different things. Yes, Ralph, there are some people in Fox that don't care for Trump, but the majority are for Trump. Absolutely, they are. But not Chris Wallace. I mean, it's a globalist owned corporation. And They don't have free will on the mic. They don't have the ability. Now, Hannity does to some extent. Yeah, he does. But Chris Wallace, I mean, told you last night, he tried to serve Vladimir Putin papers. That's why Putin wouldn't take the papers from the guy. But even at Fox, it still is intertwined within that business model. Whatever. Their bosses are telling them what they can say and what they can't say. And some things they don't have control over. That I do agree with, because the uprising and the support, I mean, a huge number of their support comes from people that don't watch CNN anymore. I heard something ridiculously funny and kind of sad, but mostly funny, was that, now what was it? I'm going to get the name of the show wrong, but CNN lost out in the rankings to, oh my God, I'm going to get this wrong, but it was something like reruns of SpongeBob SquarePants. I mean, it was something as crazy as that. People are fleeing. And something that maybe some of you know, but I don't know that you all know this, but do you know that CNN pays to have exclusively their CNN broadcast in every single airport in the United States? If you go into an airport in the United States and they have the televisions on, it's CNN, not Fox. You don't have a choice. You can't go over here and watch a different channel and see Fox or anything else. It's CNN. And the same thing goes for the schools in America, all the schools in America. CNN actually gives it and streams it out free. And in fact, I think pays to have their content exclusively punched into every school in America. And then when you finally know that and go to listen to, oh my God, the liberal bias that they spew out, and not only just spew out liberal bias, but the absolute disdain that they have for Trump. Listen, Trump is draining the swamp, and it's exhausting. I know. I went through a bout of it. I'm starting to get a little wind here about it right now, though. Talking about it with you guys, I'm starting to catch a little bit of fire here. Rejuvenated a little bit talking about it. But I was beat down today. I mean, I had a busy ass day, and the last thing I wanted to come in here and do was listen to all of this effing BS that about the collusion and all the shit with Russia. I mean, listen, even somebody like me, it wears me down, and I tire, and it's nuck and futs how that works. But that's by design. That is by design. That's Operation Mockingbird at its core, and it's what it's designed to do. It's designed to brainwash you, as I've told you a million times. It's television. It's programming, and they are trying to program people, but people are walking away. So I kind of went off on a tangent there, off where I was going. And I know that's not a big surprise to some of you, because that seems to happen about every night. But going back to Obama, my walk away movement came in his last 4 years. That's when I walked away. I mean, for all intent and purposes, I was a Democrat. When I first could vote, the first election that I could have voted in, now, I was George Bush Sr.'s first term went from 88 to 92. I graduated in 90. So I couldn't vote in that election. But when the primaries came up and Bush Sr. voted was running against Bill Clinton. Man, I liked Bill Clinton. He had admitted to smoking weed. The dude played the saxophone on Saturday Night Live. How cool is that? Well, when you're 18 in your first election, it's pretty goddamn cool. And I wasn't even a dope smoker. I just thought it was cool. I thought he was a product of the 60s, you know. And America embraced him. And the guy could talk after all. So I voted for him. Democrat. His next 4 years came up. I voted for him. Democrat. The next election was Gore versus Bush Jr., the dodo bird. And I recognized dodo bird as a dodo bird back then. I voted Gore. He lost. That was 3 straight elections. I went Democrat. Then 9/11 happened. The start of really my awakening. The next 4 years after that one, I voted for Dodo Bird for his second term. My first vote as a Republican. Maybe it was mainly because I didn't like the candidate they were running against him. I don't know. Maybe it was because I gave him a break saying, well, he had 9/11. So, I mean, what are you going to do? They ran these things into these towers. I mean, we're under attack. And he seems to be having the correct response. Like, let's go get them. Let's go smoke them out. We're going to smoke them out the caves. Not realizing until later in life that was a total, it was all a mind game. So Dodo Bird's out. Now comes Mr. Hope and Change, who, by the way, spoke eloquently in the primaries leading up to Dodo Bird's second 4 years. But that was all by design. It was all put into play. And he spoke magnificently. That guy could read a teleprompter like nobody, let me tell you. And articulate, yes. Yes. So that everybody got that little taste of Mr. Barack Hussein Obama, which was a completely fabricated name, as hindsight shows me now. And if you don't know that, that information's out there plentiful. So at this point, when he ran, I voted for Obama, Hope and Change. And what did I do? I did the exact same thing I did. I justified his first 4 years and gave it up to, well, he did inherit this debt. He did inherit all this shit from Dodo Bird Bush. So will I give him his second 4 years? Absolutely. Again, mainly because I absolutely saw nothing in what the Republicans were running against him. And by this point, I had voted 4 terms to the Democrats versus one of the Republicans. I think it was safe to say at this point in life, I was a Democrat. I was. I believed in all that stuff, and I still believe in a lot of those principles. But after the last 4 years of Obama, the training wheels came off my education. And YouTube happened. And a lot of smart people, way smarter than me, got onto YouTube and started to really put the information out. They really, really started to put the information out. And it wasn't one person. It wasn't 2 people. It was a lot of people. And they were connecting a lot of dots. They were connecting a shitload of dots. Bye, Ralph. Thanks for being here. They were connecting a lot of dots. And a lot of things were making sense in here that weren't making sense out there. Too many things that were coincidental to be coincidental. It too stupid to be coincidental. And this didn't happen once or twice. There was a track record starting to be laid out. And by this point, I was saying shit's fucked up. I'm awake. I'm awakening. I'm really starting. My God, I'm waking up. And every time something was happening, It was to destroy my rights under false pretenses. And this was now becoming obviously clear. So it was really the last 2 or 3 years of Obama's second term where my walk away campaign happened. And then when they tried to put Hillary up there, my God, she was at the root of all the issues, or a lot of them. Benghazi. At this difference, what difference, or at this point, what difference does it make? And all of this other stuff's coming out against her husband, who didn't just turn out to be a rapist and a sick fuck. He had his hands in a lot of, let's just say, very questionable pies. And it turns out that his wife, in fact, was probably the pie maker in a lot of these instances. That's where I really, really started to hit the next gear. And then I really jumped into research, because I said, if this can be true, if this is how it is, how much don't I know? And guys, it's been the proverbial snowball down the mountain since then. And it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's my walk away story. So again, I didn't want to go super political in the stream tonight, and I'm very surprised that it's already taken 33 minutes for me to get this out, but this is completely unscripted. So I just thought I'd talk about the walkaway movement, but as it turns out, I guess I spoke about how I kind of started to awake and why I'm awake. What, Red Pill? A huge, ugly bird shit on your shirt. Where? What in the Sam hell are you talking about? Oh, I see. Oh shit. Oh no. Did I waken up some sleeping giants? Hey man, we can't hang, Red Pill. No, we can. It's funny. It was everybody will back me up. It was a stream or two ago. I really started talking about that was part of the brainwash process, was how I spoke about how I hated OSU, being a Michigan fan, and all of that. But that's all designed because you know what? If really not just Ohio State, if any team in the Big Ten, which is where Michigan plays, Ohio State, Penn State, Illinois, Indiana, Penn State, Wisconsin, Northwestern, yeah, whatever. Any team in the Big Ten, Iowa, that plays another, they play in their bowl game, even OSU. I root for them because it's my region. Okay. I've always been that way, even though I've been a diehard Michigan fan. But that's all by design, is to get people to get in there and root so hard for your sports and so much for that you're oblivious to the realities that are going on, the realities of what the government's doing. All right. So, I never took it to the extreme that I see a lot of fans take it to. And I always actually really, really respected the rivalry as a sports fan. But at this point, it's just pointless for me to care. I mean, honestly, I'm so infatuated with finding out the truth that I don't watch the games anymore. I do watch the Michigan-Ohio State game. I will say that. But guys, I was going to like Michigan games 2-3 times a season. Now I watch on TV one game a year. It's just not important to me. Because it's so insignificant to what's going on in the world. And I think it's by design. Anyway, Yeah. I don't know. You got a big bird shit on your shirt, dick. It's all right. We all friends up in here. Oh yeah. Oh shit, Ern. Yeah, that's right. You were from. That's why you're a New England Patriots fan, because you were raised in that area, weren't you? And you've seen some nasty fights at Boston Garden. Yeah, I can imagine that. And it'd be a toss up where there's more fights at Boston Garden or in Philadelphia. Uh, Boy, they are some face painting, uh, heavy duty fans in those areas. You know, but I could see that. I could see that over there. Born in New Bedford. Um, yeah, help me on that, Ern. That's New England, right? I mean, is that New Bedford? Is that is it Massachusetts? Bedford. Yeah, yeah. 50 miles south of Boston. Yeah, Massachusetts. Boy, yay me. That's a good guess on my part. I've heard of it. I couldn't, especially over there, dude. All the states are like this. They all like, man, they're all like this into the, it's like, here's New York City. And then, but over here is like Newark, which they had to create that word because New Jersey it was New Jersey, but they wanted to be part of New York. So they're like, we live in Newark, damn it. Yeah, but you live in New Jersey. Fuck you. We live in Newark. Uh, that all comes to a head. And yeah, yeah, the rivalries are nasty. They're not healthy. They're not healthy rivalries. Yeah. So let me get off that topic just for a second because I want to finish up my point here on my walk away. When President Trump threw his hat in the ring, I knew immediately. Now, guys, mind you, the score was like 6 times I voted Democrat, 1 time I voted Republican. Okay. But at my heart, I've always been libertarian. I figured that out about myself. I want as little amount of government involved in my life decisions as possible. That makes me libertarian. And I know that's what I am, but they don't ever give you a libertarian to vote for, which I'm not sure would have made a difference back in the prior elections to this one with Trump. But I figured that out about myself is that if they ever give me a libertarian that I can vote for and feel good about, I will vote for them. But we don't have that at this point. We got one guy that has vowed to root the evil and root the big deep state Luciferian child killing, baby killing, children raping, and root that out of the world. And that's a movement I can get behind. And I know you can too. So anyway, yeah. And the more awake you are, you just you better not send me that shirt, Red Pill. I will wipe my ass with that shirt. I probably wouldn't out of respect for you, Red Pill, but let me just be frank and say I'll never wear it. Unless you and I start betting on these games for fun. And then if that's the case, I'll have to send you a Michigan shirt. And then on that one game a year, we'll have to go out in public and wear the shirt in our hometown and have our picture taken like around town at like 7 different places or something. That could be kind of fun, actually. Not fun for me. I would have had to have worn that shirt the last like 9 years. And I don't look good in red. Yeah, Red Pill says, no way, man. No, sir. Dude, how could you even be an OSU fan? Aren't you from Indy? Like somewhere in Indiana? How can you be an OSU? Shouldn't you be a Hoosier? Something like that. Yeah, I know that. I know that stuff has no just just north of Indy. Yeah. So that yeah, it doesn't. You're probably closer to Columbus than I am. Anyway. Oh, you that explains it. Your family's from Ohio. Well, it didn't affect me. My mother was from Ohio, Wooster, as it would be. I guess it didn't rub off. Anyway, guys, all right, 42 minutes. I think I kind of covered what I wanted to cover. I wanted to talk about Walk Away. I'm glad you're all here. I hope you had fun. I enjoy this muchly, bigly. I enjoy this. So happy to see you all. And hey, well, thank you. Thank you. I'm getting some beard compliments. Thank you. It's starting to come in. I don't know how long I'll keep it, but it's here for now. And thank you. You're 3 hours south of Chicago, Red Pill. I'm 2.5 hours north of Chicago. We ought to meet in Chicago and have some fucking fun, buddy. That's a great town, especially this time of year. What a town. I just don't want to get shot. Which if we hang out on Rush Street, we won't get shot. We'll get drunk. Too kind. My subs are too kind. Anyway, think that over, Red Pill. That can be fun, dude. That's not terribly far for either one of us. So anyway, awesome. I'm thanks, guys. Not gonna drag out my goodbyes. It's awesome to see you all, and I'm glad you made it here. And think about the walk away movement. Watch some of those videos if you get a chance. Just type in "walk away" in your search bar for YouTube, and just watch. Like I said, they're usually like 10 to 15 minutes max, and these people have walked away just in the last like month or two, maybe 3, and it's awesome. I would love that, Red Pill. I absolutely would love that, dude. That's one thing I do well is I can fish. I can fish, dude. So God bless you all, my friends, and thanks for coming. Thanks for being here. I will see you guys all on either my next live stream or anybody in the crew that throws up a live stream. I'll see you there. So Red Pill, we'll flush that out a little bit more in the next few days, dude, and see if we can't come up with a date and time. So anyway, that being said, Bill Mish out.